Just learning how to swear there.
No, you just piss me off so bad that I get mush mouth when I'm trying to insult you because I'm so fucking annoyed.
Sounds like a you problem.
I didn't say it was anybody else's problem or even a problem for me. The only problem is you understanding what I'm saying.
Talk, it's a problem. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Brotherhood Without Manners, your favorite full spoiler reread podcast of George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire series. Had to put a little pepper on the end there. As always, I'm your host, Zach, and sitting here next to me in a spicy mood, my brother Nate.
You sounded like a tea kettle that you got off just in time before it actually popped off.
That's a cool one. That's a good reference. You're
good.
Not fucking up for once today.
I know, it's a surprise.
We've been apparently in a mood today, so strap in. If you've joined us before,
then you know Zach just pisses me off. So get ready, everyone.
Wow.
We are full spoiler. We will talk about this series.
And talk over each other. We interrupt each other constantly because we're kind of cunts. And so, yes, we are currently reading A Storm of Swords. We're at the end, bitches.
Holy hell, we're at the end.
Yeah, Nate pointed it out. What are we, like 5 chapters
after
this one?
I even wrote it at the top of my notes.
Look
I know.
at you.
And so we're reading John 11 this chapter.
Sure.
After this, everybody we encounter, it's their final chapter of the book. And so next after this will be Tyrion 11. Tyrion's final chapter. From there, it goes to Sam 5, Sam's final chapter. Then John 12, which is his final chapter. Thank you for echoing each one. And then the last chapter of the book is Sansa 7.
Samwell.
Before the epilogue.
EpiPen.
What? I guess we're allergic to the end of Storm of Swords.
I am, man. It's scary.
I'm so excited.
I might go into anaphylactic shock.
It means that we've got Feast. We're there. We made it.
Yeah, we're coming to the end. Storm has been a project, as those of you that have listened since the very get-go, in the actual release order, because you can binge. That's the way technology works. We get it, but it took us a minute to get through Storm.
Yeah. There was a storm that was just going through
There was a pandemic. There was a bunch of stuff that occurred during this book. We'll get into all that during the wrap-up of the actual book episode. But, yeah, it's been a hot minute. So as we're closing in on the end here, it's very exciting. It's a lot of fun. The end of this book is fucking stellar. But, as you said, we're here to read John 11.
Well, it's that because it's also lining up with other activities that we're working on. Which I do think the announcement of that is coming up in the very near future.
Oh,
and so
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's pretty cool. Not that we have something to announce.
I'm like Tom Holland. I spoil shit.
Yeah, Zach's not allowed to talk.
That's
I guess.
not true at all.
It never has
never
been.
Spoiled
but
anything.
You're still a piece of shit. So.
Whoa,
John 11.
Nate's firing at Tom Holland. Tom Holland's a piece of shit according to Nate.
Oh no,
that's what you just said.
I guess so. Sorry.
John
Tom.
11. Last episode, we were reading Sam. Samwell is at the wall again with his friends that he specifically calls his friends, and it's sweet. He cried when he saw Giant and Ed, and then he returns to find that Castle...
Gran is thrilled to see him, and it is so sweet.
See, with the interrupting.
Oh my.
Castle Black is different than he left it, because John collapsed the stairs in his fight with the Magnar of Thens and that crew. And most of the others that he left are dead. And now there's an actual king at Castle Black for the first time in living memory. Stannis B-Wrath has come to the north along with Melisandre. And they just straight chilling. They're here for the vibes. And so now Mance Rayder has been defeated. We saw that a bit in Jon's chapters where Jon was sent north to treat with Mance, right as Stannis Baratheon arrived with a force of the Night's Watch. And we got from Sam the workings of that. Cotter Pike helped Stannis, led him on some ranger trails, and they were able to take the wildlings unawares. And we got the fallout of that. Val, Mance's sister-in-law, is now in charge of the baby because Dalla died during childbirth.
Dalla's dead.
Dalla's dead. That's not the worst of it. Dalla broke her leg.
Yeah, which is funny because I don't think that we really even mentioned that at all.
Well, we didn't get it during that chapter. Like, it's kind of skirted over.
Yeah, it's just that we were full spoiler, and I guess I forgot.
Well, there was a lot of other stuff.
That she's dead.
But yes, Dalla died during childbirth.
Yeah, and it's cool because
it's cool. It's just sweet. Childbirth death is fucking awesome.
So moving on to the next point, it's cool because the way that Martin has written these few chapters, similar to how the Red Wedding went down with Arya Cat. The last time we saw Jon, who we're reading today, it was in Sam's chapter as he was leaving for the training yard.
Yep.
And even though the last time Jon chapter, it was when we...
The last time Jon chapter.
I can word good. The last time we saw Jon was in his chapter, and it was at the point where he was going into the tent with Val and Dalla, not Dal and Vala.
Valhalla.
And so, yeah, this one we're picking up right after we can almost assume not that it is that same day, but it's the similar circumstances.
We're not given a time frame here, which I do like. It could be a week later. It could be a day later from the Samwell chapter. But as we pick up here in Jon 11, Jon is in the training yard, which we know is pretty much where he's spending a majority of his time lately because he's been relieved of all duties because he can't be trusted because he's a turncloak punk-ass bitch. And so that's just according to everyone at the wall, not me.
It doesn't help that all he does is sit over there by the collapsed stairs listening to Hawthorne Heights.
Who doesn't, man? They had a banger album or two. I don't know. I've never listened to them. But
you would recognize a song or two.
A song or two.
In a good way, not in a bad way.
So Jon and Satin are currently doing some training. Jon is prowling around him, telling him to get his shield up. I do believe that this dialogue is ripped verbatim and put into the show, but in a very different context, because I think it's when Bran is dream tripping and sees young Ned and Benjen and I'll ring your head like a bell.
Yeah, but what's cool here is it's also just reminiscent to exactly how Jon was with his friends when they first got to the wall, and now he's doing it as Alliser Thorne wouldn't for them when they were younger.
Right, Alliser Thorne's a piece of shit and Jon Snow isn't, and we like Satin. Satin, I believe, is the former sex worker who, everyone was kind of oh, he's soft and a little, girlish, and that's an issue for us.
Right.
And, clearly it's not, because Jon, praises him, saying, good, he's getting
put your
shit.
Body behind
right,
it
you're,
and swing this way.
You need more oomph.
Right,
so...
he's giving the tutelage that the guy never received. That's, again, one more way that Martin is just showing how Jon exemplifies a Lord Commander, because not only does he know the stewarding of a Lord Commander when he was squiring, basically, for Mormont,
right,
he also can come out here on the training field and be the top warrior out here, showing everybody else little tiny basics on this will make you not suck or die.
Right, he can train the quote-unquote untrainable.
Right.
The ones that shouldn't have a sword in their hand by some bullshit by law that doesn't make any fucking sense, because Sam is motherfucking Sam the Slayer, and Alliser Thorne was oh, he's too fat and soft to do anything of worth, yet Sam's the first person to kill an other in...
He was able to put his body weight behind a sharp blade and push, so shut the fuck up,
So they're going at it, but it is Satin who is yo, Jon.
Shut up, dog.
And Jon, when he looks, because he's they're right behind me, aren't they? It's Melisandre. The yard goes quiet. She has the kids these days are calling it aura. She's got aura.
She also, it reminds me of, I can't even remember the name of the creature, but in the Harry Potters with Fleur Delacour and her lineage, her grandmothers and stuff, that they're basically a type of
decanter, right?
What?
Delacour, decanter. I mean, I don't. It's not a leap in logic. They come from glassware.
They're
what is your issue?
Sirens, essentially.
Oh, sure.
But it's
pretty ladies are always dangerous.
They put on this beauty, and that just silences the room, draws all the attention, and she just has that. Also, like a flame, where it's coming in and burning
sucks
all
out the oxygen.
Yeah,
that's more awesome. the what I believe symbolism is that when Melisandre comes, she literally sucks the oxygen out of the room because she's the flame.
Because she's a 300-year-old vibe.
She's scary and pretty, and Jon's like, damn, she's hot, but there's something a little unsettling about red eyes. Like, oh, really, Jon? Is there? Is there just something unsettling about a person with red eyes? Is that just unsettling? Is it unsettling? Because, like, you know, the only other thing in the series that has red eyes is your direwolf.
Ghost.
And the thing your direwolf is kind of modeled after, which is the weirwood trees. So what's unsettling about that?
What are you talking about?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But Melisandre is here to collect Mr. Jon Snow because the king would like a word. The king wants to see you in his office now. And his office is apparently at the top of the wall because we need to be fucking frigid while we have this conversation.
Right, and Jon's worried he's about to get reprimanded for, like, handing out participation trophies to the bad team down there in the training yard.
I mean, there's a lot Jon's worried about getting reprimanded for right now because he's a turncoat.
He's a traitor.
He's
fighting for the wildlings again.
Right.
Whatever.
He
but
slept with
he
one.
Also, again, we're seeing his tactical mind, his Lord Commander mind, where he realizes that Mel is like, cool, you want to go shower and change and stuff, that's cool, we'll be waiting for you at the top of the wall. And he's like, oh shit, she's gonna be there too. Now we see who the queen is. Now we see who's wearing the pants.
Jon here. Again, in the sort of leadership role, he's like, I'm in no fit state to see a king. There might be a three-way with you, me, and Stannis. So let me go change real quick. And she's like, cool, we'll await you at the top of the wall. So Jon already, he can't disrespect this king, and he knows that. And showing up in his sweaty training garb would do that. And Stannis is absolutely the one who would comment on it. Whether or not it would offend Stannis, he would be like, oh, you didn't see fit to change for me? I get it. Cool. And so Jon, has that presence of mind. And then you're right, where as soon as she's like, we'll await you atop the wall, Jon's like, oh, so she's going to be at this meeting. They are telling it true. He didn't bring his true queen with him. Like, that's the true queen right there. We looking at her. And so he goes in, changes, and dons a fresh set of blacks. He knows that it's going to be cold and windy up there, so he brings a heavy hooded cloak, and he slings Longclaw across his back, just, because fucking, again, aura.
Now, and this is really helping to just fucking super hype up Mel and her just magical aura, because
aura.
The Jon Snow has traveled with the wildlings in the north. He knows fucking cold.
Right.
And Martin is very
particular about showing.
Right.
Jon
he's getting his heavy
warm.
cloak he's putting on. He knows it's cold, and it's going to be even colder than cold up at the top of the wall. And then he goes to meet this bitch, and she's just chilling in the same red gown, like sleeveless, handling business like a boss, and they hop on into the winch.
Yeah. They're riding up the winch. She's waiting for him at the base of the wall, and she sends her queen's men away. So, again, aura. She has no fear of Jon Snow and this Valyrian steel sword. Like, none at all. And Jon asks, what would King Stannis have of me? And she says, he's a king, Jon Snow. All you have to give. Everything. Like,
right. He expects you to give everything you can. He is enamored with the red, and I'm wondering if she's not casting some kind of
100%. She even smells red.
I love that line. I was going to highlight it.
It reminds him of Micken's Forge, the way iron smelled when red hot. The scent was smoke and blood. Kissed by fire, he thought, remembering Ygritte. This reminds me of Felis Felixes. It smells like what is pleasant to... It reminds Jon of the hot forge, of these comforting smells of Ygritte and Micken's Forge from Winterfell, from home.
I can't recall if it ever actually happens in the book, but I know in the show there's the scene where Melisandre visits Jon when he's Lord Commander in the office, and is like, yo, let me make a baby with you. We'll get some magical king god stuff going on.
I think it's mainly like...
Well, I feel like this is almost what that was nodding to, with the, like...
There's something appealing about her.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I can kind of make your dreams come true, baby.
I liked the description. The wind got in among Melisandre's long red robes and sent them flapping against Jon's legs as he stood beside her. So Jon it's like he's being consumed by the flames. Like, her red robes are like licking at his legs and like,
which is what stirs him to be like,
are you not cold?
Aren't you fucking cold, bro? Like, it's cold. And she's like, nah, I'm good.
Never.
Dude. Check this out. And then she just shows how warm her hands are. Yeah. And she's chilling,
he notes the ruby at her throat seems to pulse in time with her beating heart. Whether or not she has a heart that's beating, we don't know. But the pulse of the ruby is very interesting as well.
And she says, only death is cold.
Which Jon will know here in a book. But...
Which, yeah, it's super foreshadowy. Just the, like, you're cold because you're dead. You're
dead, motherfucker.
You're gonna die.
They find Stannis Baratheon standing alone at the edge of the wall, brooding over the field where he had won.
He's like, here, let me show you, Jon.
He is dressed also, basically, as a brother of the Night's Watch, which is interesting, except for his gold cloak that he's got on.
It's very funny that he's doing what Jon did. I need to respect the person I'm going to meet with. I'm at the wall. I will respect what your traditions are, and so I will, as a king, wear my big ass sick fucking
We also
cloak.
know Stannis not to be showy and
he's not a big,
gaudy in that way.
He'll take what he can get, and he's like, it's cold and I don't have this kind of cold weather gear, so I'm gonna use some of yours. Thank you.
He turns to study Jon, and Jon takes in his features, that his eyes are like bottomless blue pools, very others coded here. The gauntness of his face, his clenched teeth, his neck and shoulders are clenched as well as his right hand. And Jon remembers himself, or recalls the thing Donald Noy told him about the Baratheon brothers, that Robert was true steel. Stannis was pure iron, black and hard and strong, but brittle. The way iron gets, he'll break before he bends. And then, funny enough, Jon immediately
bends
and wonders why this brittle king had need of him, which I very much so like that play on words. And he tells Jon to rise. He has much need of him, Lord Snow. And Jon's like, I'm no lord. That'll be a fucking thing that continues through this whole chapter of Stannis calling him lord. And it's sort of the giving him the loan before Jon has accepted it. And it's absolutely, I believe, an intentional thing on Stannis' part of being like, I'm already going to refer to you as Lord Stark. It's not the insult Sir Alistair made it. It's the, I want you to accept my terms and conditions, so I'm going to
show you
treat
how much you like it already.
As it already. And so Jon is like, I know what you've heard of me, Your Grace. I'm a turncloak, a craven. I slew my brother Corran. And I rode with Mance Raider, took a wildling to bed, all that. And
this is my favorite line, because Stannis is like, yeah, I've heard all that. Cool. Dude, are you a warg?
Are you also a warg?
Bro, can you turn into animals or something? Like, what are we doing?
At night as a wolfie?
Is that real?
Is that true?
And even better is Jon's answer, well, I do have a dire wolf, but I haven't seen him in a bit. He never denies that shit. He's never like, no. He's like, yeah, dude, I got a dire wolf. It's sick. I fucking do.
Well, like this exchange is so interesting because Stannis says all that with a hard smile. It says, which like I love. Again,
I think that Stannis might have seen Jon in the fires. Like with the warging specifically.
He just had Melisandre burn fucking Varamir out of Orell's eagle. Like, homie is cool with wargs. Right. He's like, that shit's dope.
And to me, it's he saw that specifically, Jon warging in some way in the flames.
Yeah.
And this was Jon confirming it. Well, like, he knew, like, I just need to hear him say it to know that he's being truthful with
And I do like Martin kind of buries it, because Jon says, yeah, I had a direwolf ghost. I left him when I climbed the wall near Greyguard and have not seen him since. And then he goes on to explain that, where he's like, Corran commanded me to join the he told me to kill him to prove myself, and asked that I do whatever they ask of me. The woman was a grit, and I broke my vows with her, but I never turned my cloak, I swear. And Stannis is like, I believe you. I think Stannis is like, I believe you're a warg, motherfucker.
Right, because Stannis did say, are these accusations true? Like, in a And it sounds like he's only talking about the warging thing.
How much of it is true?
I think he was referencing like how much of what you listed.
I think it's just the warg thing.
I think John took it that way.
Yeah.
How much of it you just listed
Stannis
all that.
only cares about how much of you being a warg is true, Jon Snow.
I agree.
The rest of it, I think, is bullshit because I know you're Ned Stark's bastard, and whatever else that means, he raised you honorably.
And that's why I think that the warging is the only thing that matters to him.
Yeah.
If you will answer me truthfully about that,
right. Then the rest is clearly as you've told it.
And that, like, again, Jon never denies it. He answers it intelligently that Stannis is smart enough to see that that's he does.
Yeah, because there's zero way Stannis hasn't already talked to Aemon about all this stuff.
Right.
And Aemon's been like, no, I don't think he's a turncloak. Like, the way he's told it seems to be telling it true. And then he was like, well, Aemon, I've heard he's a warg. How, like, is that? And Aemon's like, I don't know about any of that.
Well, and we also learned that he has spent the last, like, few days sitting down chatting with Mance Rayder.
Mm-hmm.
And we know Mance was a Night's Watch member. He's not just pure wildling. So the guy is intelligent, as we've also seen, speaks intelligently. Wargs came up between them.
Yeah.
And so a lot of truths will have come up from Mance.
100%.
About,
Mance has no reason to lie about any of the shit he's pulling. He doesn't give a fuck.
And that, I think Stannis respects the fuck out of Mance, even if Mance annoys the shit out of Stannis.
Yeah, right, absolutely. Jon asks him why. Why do you believe me? And Stannis snorts and says, I know Janos Slynt. Boom, right there. Motherfucker's lying to try to make you look like a piece of shit because he wants power here. I already know that's what he's pulling. And Alistair Thorne is sucking his dick off too. Like, it's a whole thing.
I also knew your father. I knew Ned Stark.
He was no friend of mine, but only a fool would doubt his honor or his honesty. You have his look. Lyanna's look, but we get it.
Well, and it's that, like, his brother, Robert, was Ned's best friend. Or Ned's was his best friend.
They were besties, yeah.
And so he was around him constantly, and it was that, like, no, he was just, the kid brother's friend, like...
Stannis is literally only saying he's no friend of mine because of, like, the end days, where...
Right.
And Ned was the one who sent the letter to Stannis. He did try to back Stannis, but it was kind of a little too late. And then I think Stannis is also a little sore that Robb didn't immediately...
Which he will come up
Which does come up, but, like, I think he's attributing a little bit of Robb's traitorous nature to Ned in that regard of, like, Ned must have told him to kind of raise his banners and all that.
And a lot of that comes down to the classic, Robb and Stannis never got a chance to just sit down by themselves.
Right.
And learn that Robb never declared himself king. He was named by his men, like, when they say that. And so after a good discussion, I'm sure they would have come to, I mean, again, it's hard for Robb's being so young in the pride of the Stark house. He might not have been able to bend the knee and give up the throne like we saw Jon do in the TV show, but...
I like the little call out that Stannis towers over Jon, but so gaunt he looks 10 years older than he was. That I do believe is a direct result of the Shadow Baby. And so...
I agree with that. I love that Robert we knew was a big man, but this is... Stannis is a big fucking dude.
Tall.
Also,
he's tall as shit.
He's a war commander. He's a warrior,
he's
a king, and so he's not. And that, like, I think part of it is Jon working that into the presence.
His presence, yeah.
But he's also a physically big man.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool to remind us at this moment when he's kind of laying out.
Well, yeah, Jon just almost fucking chokeslammed Alistair Thorne, like. And yet Stannis towers over him.
Right.
And so it's a very cool, like, Stannis is not a fucking joke by any means and, like, commands a presence. And he says, I know more than you might think, Jon Snow. I know it was you who found the dragonglass dagger that Randall Tarley's son used to slay the other. Very interesting that he doesn't name Sam here. And I'm very curious as to why he attributes it that way. Randall Tarley's son. Is just an interesting...
To me, I think it is mostly because, Randall Tarley is still a living, renowned figure. Known figure, not renowned, but strong lord down in the Seven Kingdoms. And Sam hasn't done anything to make his name known, except for this week. And so it's weird for him to think that he's a known figure. So it's kind of just that, I don't know who this fucking kid is, but the Tarly boy.
Yeah, sure. Jon then also goes on to confirm that he wargs even further by saying it was ghosts who found it, actually. At the Fist of the First Men, it was wrapped in a cloak, buried, and there were other things as well, spearheads, arrowheads, all dragon glass. And Stannis goes on to say, I know you held the gate here as well. And
no, it wasn't me.
If you didn't, I would have come too late. And he says Donald Noy did that. He died in the tunnels. And Stannis grimaces at this and says, Noy made me my first sword, and Robert's warhammer as well. Had the god, not gods, had the god seen fit to spare him, he would have made a better Lord Commander than any of these other fools. And Jon corrects him, saying Cotter Pike and Dennis Mallister are no fools.
Right.
They would make great Lord Commanders. It's Janos Slint that is the biggest fucking fool of all that we're dealing with currently.
Which, obviously, Jon knows nothing because it's been hinted at, teased at, and continues to be more and more prevalent from Sam's last chapter through here, where Stannis now goes on about all the accomplishments Jon has been doing, holding the wall and working with the wildlings and doing all this shit, not realizing Jon is being shown how great of a Lord Commander he'll fucking be.
Right, he can't accept the fact that, like, he
broke his vows.
He did, well, like that, but, like, he can't take the fucking compliment. You did do a lot of these things, these great things. And Jon points out that Mormont trusted both Cotter Pike and Dennis Mallister and Othel Yarwick each in their own way. And Stannis throws back in his face, Mormont trusted too much, too easily, else he wouldn't have died the way he did. But we're speaking of you. That's great foreshadowing, because Jon's going to die pretty much in the same way, where he's going to trust his brothers to just accept him breaking the Night's Watch oaths of letting the wildlings through, and that's what gets Jon killed, is he asks way too much of them and trusts that they're just willing to accept it way too easily, and that's what leads to Jon's death. And I like Stannis throwing that in his face.
Partially to my previous point, Jon protected Mormont, like when the people that Mormont should have trusted Jon, which he did, was the one who protected him. And so again, showing Jon has the capabilities to actually be the
Jon wasn't there when Mormont died, or else things might have gone
maybe, or Jon would be dead.
Jon would die as well, but. And then Stannis says, I've not forgotten it was you who brought us this magic horn and captured Mance Rayder's wife and son. And Jon clarifies Dalla died. Val is her sister. She and the babe didn't require capturing. You put the wildlings to flight. The skin changer Mance had left a guard, went mad when the eagle burned, and then he looks at Mel and kind of like winks, and he was like, some say that was your doing, ha 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 ha. And she smiles back and is like, the Lord of Light has fiery talons, Lord Snow. And so, yeah, they're like basically fucking copulating at the top of the wall. And Jon nods, kind of taking that as confirmation of like, oh yeah, she definitely burned the shit out of Varamir, out of that eagle.
Yeah, and this is where Jon chances his, request to Stannis, hey, can Val see? Like, can she show him the baby Mance, deserves the chance to see his son?
It would be a kindness, and Stannis is like, he's a deserter from your order. All your brothers want him dead. Why should I do him a kindness? And Jon has no answer, but says, if not for him, then for Val, for her sister's sake, the child's mother. And Stannis is like, you're hot on Val. You're sweet on this Val. And Stannis...
and then this hypocrite is like, you need to be careful of the signs of beauty, as he's got fucking Melisandre standing here being like, wink, wink. I know what he's talking about here.
Yeah, he applies it to Cersei. Beauty can be treacherous. My brother learned that from Cersei Lannister.
Oh, sorry.
Gross.
I'm dying.
Disgusting. Get the fuck out.
Whoa.
My brother learned that from Cersei Lannister. She murdered him, do not doubt it. Your father and Jon Arryn as well. Oh, you're wrong on the Jon Arryn part. You rode with the wildlings. Is there any honor in them, do you think? And Jon says, yes, but their own sort. And then in Mance Rayder? And he's like, yeah, I think so. In the Lord of Bones?
Maybe deep under them bones.
So we discussed it at length. that there's going to be some glamoring here. Mance Rayder is going to be taking... Sorry, reverse that. Rattleshirt is going to be taking the place of Mance Rayder as he burns, and Mance will then be looking like some Rattleshirt nonsense for a minute. And so it's fun that it's basically here. I think that they get the confirmation of like, yeah, so Mance can be trusted, Rattleshirt can't.
Right, and it's that whole, this is Martin subtly hinting at the watch the personality of Rattleshirt later on,
right,
after quote-unquote Mance has been burned, and see the difference of this honorless person being portrayed by Mance versus the old Rattleshirt that we've seen. But like you said, it's also everyone seeing the fact that, yeah, Rattleshirt's kind of a piece of shit and expendable. So he's the kind of person that should be taking the place of somebody that doesn't.
He's the one who deserves it.
Right. He doesn't deserve it like Mance is. And so it's a perfect switch.
What about Tormund? And
I love this.
Jon is like, Tormund seems to me the sort of man who'd make a good friend and a bad enemy. And Stannis accepts it. He nods. He's like, all right.
I get that, yeah.
And he says, again, your father was a man of honor. He was no friend to me, but I saw his worth. Your brother was a rebel and a traitor who meant to steal half my kingdom, but no man can question his courage. So what of you? Well, and what about you, kid? And Jon's like, what does he want from me here? I don't
Dude, I'm not sucking your dick, bro. I'm not.
You're hot, Stannis.
Okay, I will. But just once.
Just once.
I'm
a man of the Night's Watch.
He plays it safe, you know.
Middle ground. And words are wind. And he asks him, why do you think I abandoned Dragonstone and came to the wall?
I like to think it's because we asked you to come and help, and the true king would do that. So
though why it took you so long, I don't fucking know. And surprisingly, Stannis smiles at that, and he's like, all right, you're bold enough to be a Stark. I'll give you that. Which I like. That's a Lyanna-ism.
And he goes, actually, you lucked out. My favorite little onion knight who learned how to read at the clutch moment happened to stumble across your note.
I wouldn't have come at all.
I wasn't going to do anything if he didn't bring it to me and be like, hey, we should go help these guys. And the red woman was like, Davos is right. Hey, we should go help those guys. Because I saw that Jon Snow is actually you, Stannis, so I need to get up there quick.
Yeah, Stannis says, this is where I'll find the foe that I was born to fight. And this is where Melisandre, like, over his shoulder is like, his name may not be spoken, Jon Snow. He's the god of night and terror. And Jon's like, oh, yeah, I've seen a couple of those. And that's when Stannis is like, they tell me you slew one of these walking corpses to save Mormont. And so it may be this is your war as well, Jon Snow, if you give me your help. And Jon is like, yeah, I already pledged my sword to the Night's Watch. And Stannis is like, God damn it. I need more than a sword from you. I need that dick.
He needs the North.
Oh, the North, right. Well, I mean, kind of the dick with Val. Like, he needs a marriage proposal.
He says that Jon is not Robb any more than Stannis is Robert.
Right.
Which I think is funny.
I can't give you the North because it's Robb.
He's kind of like, listen, you're not Robb any more than I'm Robb.
Right.
So
neither one of us is a Robb.
No, nobody here is Robb. You know what I'm trying to tell you?
I'll slob the knob, but I'm not Robb. So.
Oh.
Your brother was the rightful Lord of Winterfell. If he had stayed home and done his duty instead of crowning himself, that's where Stannis is missing. He didn't crown himself.
Right.
He was crowned. And riding off, he might be alive today. But you are not Robb no more than I am Robert. And it says the harsh words had blown away whatever sympathy Jon might have had for Stannis. And he's like, yo, I loved my brother. You may not have. But I did. And Stannis is like, yeah, and I mine. I just had one murdered by a shadow baby. Like, it's no biggie. That's fine. Love. It's fine. Tough love, but it's love.
And he mentions that he can make him the Lord of Winterfell and do away with his bastardization. And Jon's, all his childhood dreams kind of run before his little eyes. But he's also, after the last, 2 years, realizes that those were just the fancies of a child. Like, I never actually wanted my entire family to die in order for me to qualify
in order
for this
me
shit
to get
occur.
it, everyone else needs to be dead.
It was just that,
up.
like, what if I wasn't a bastard and got to live with my family, and Rob decided to go live in a cabin, and I got to take
I
it
could be considered.
Stuff.
Like, what if I was just considered for it and was a true-born son, not a fucking bastard?
And he was like, all he would need to do is forsake his vows again, and that's how he, in his head, it's the Ned of him. Like, I have to, and it's what Ned did at the end, was forsake his own vows.
Well, yeah, because it's
truths.
Not just like being like, fuck the Night's Watch. It's also, you gotta go ahead and burn the fucking heart trees. Like, you need to burn the werewoods.
Right.
You need to forsake your father's gods. And that's the line too far.
Well, it's so funny to me because he has seen power from the North, the magic that exists, whether he's attributed it to that.
Ghost literally looks like a fucking werewood.
His warging, like all of the abilities that he's seen, the warging of Aura, like he's seen Varamir doing some shit with these other animals.
The old gods are just as powerful in Jon's eyes as R'hllor is in Stannis's. And so, yeah. There is a bit where, like, Jon kind of gets caught up real quick, where he learns that Roose Bolton has been named Warden of the North, and that the Iron Men have been fighting amongst themselves since Baelin's death. They hold Moat Cailin, Deepwood Motte, and Torrhen Square, and most of the Stony Shore. And that Jon's like, but Winterfell's no more. Theon burned it to the ground. And I love the line Stannis says, granite doesn't burn easily. And that's just a lot of fun for, like, the North remembers type of phrasing.
Sure.
And so, yeah, it's...
I also like that we've had the talk of, and have gone over it a lot in the past, but Stannis being iron, Robert steel, Starks are granite. Right. They're just this stone foundation.
It's the Stone Kings in the crypts.
But also, something that might not be as susceptible and is more capable of housing a dragon down beneath the...
There's no dragon under Winterfell. Shut the fuck up. And so, yeah, it's, with a hand, with a stroke, Stannis could erase your bastardy and make you a actual trueborn Stark. And Stannis gazes off to the north, and his gold cloak streaming behind him, and says, "It may be I'm mistaken in you, Jon Snow. We both know the things that are said are bastards. You may lack your father's honor or your brother's skill in arms, but you are the weapon the Lord has given me. I found you here as you found the cache of dragonglass beneath the fist. I must make use of you. Azor Ahai did not win his war alone. I killed 1,000 wildlings, took another 1,000 captive, and scattered the rest, but we both know they'll return. Mel has seen that in her fires. Interesting. And this Tormund is likely reforming even now. The more we bleed each other, the weaker we all shall be when the enemy falls upon us." And Jon is like, oh shit, like he actually does get the big picture.
He's recognizing the true enemy and what's at stake here. So that's good, even if it's for his own glory and gain. And I do like the line that Stannis will attribute to this whole situation, that he was trying to win the kingdom before saving the kingdom.
Right.
And now he realizes he needs to save the kingdom in order to win their trust. And
he mentioned that when it was the, my Onion Knight told me to come here. And so Jon is like, yeah, I agree with you there. And Stannis says, while your brothers have been choosing who's going to lead them, I've been speaking with Mance Rayder. A stubborn one, that one, and prideful. He'll leave me no choice but to give him to the flames. But we took other captives as well, other leaders. The Lord of Bones, some clan chiefs, the new Magnar of Thenns. Your brothers won't like it no more than your father's lords, but I mean to allow them through the wall. And, finally, an actual kingly decision from Stannis.
Right. It's very cool because this was a Jon decision in the show. Yeah. And so this is a huge deviation, and so good that it's the king who is making this determination.
It's good until it's those who swear me fealty, pledge to keep the king's peace, the king's laws, and take the Lord of Light as their god. I mean, that's colonization to a T. Fuck all your culture, fuck everything you know, now follow my ways and my laws.
Or die.
Or die. And when the cold winds rise, we shall live or die together. He means to settle them on the gift. And he says, it's time we made alliance against our common foe. Would you agree? And Jon's like, my father always wanted to resettle the gift, but he probably never thought it was wildlings. Like, shit. And the wildlings are going to make unruly subjects for any king because they don't kneel. But in terms of the broad strokes, Jon agrees, so he vocalizes that he agrees, and Stannis is like, good. The best way to seal an alliance is with a marriage. So I mean to wed my Lord of Winterfell to this wildling princess. Jon thinks that maybe he's ridden with the free folk too long because he laughs, and he's like, if you think you can just give Val to me...
Yeah, it's Val, bro.
You have a great deal to learn about the wildling women. And he's like, whoever you mean to give her to had best be prepared to climb into her tower window and carry her off at sword point. And Stannis is like, whoever I mean to give her to?
Yeah, I like that he had this kind of subtle, they're doing this verbal sparring.
Yeah.
And it's I haven't fully given in to your plan or accepted your offer. And he's almost offended by that. And Jon's like, listen, like, don't get all mad. I'm just saying this is a big-ass decision. Give me a little bit of time to kind of chew the fat on
Can
this
I
one.
consider it? And he says, you can, but consider quickly. I'm not a patient man, as your black brothers are about to discover. And Stannis puts a hand on Jon's shoulder and says, say nothing of what we've discussed here today to anyone.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
When you're ready, you will need only kneel, bend your knee, lay your sword at my feet, and pledge yourself to my service, and you rise again as Jon Stark, Lord of Winterfell. And it's that fucking simple. Everything Jon's wanted since childhood is his. With also the marriage to Val, but that's not at all the negative because Val's hot. And so...
she's a badass.
And that's it for Jon. And it's a very quick, very brief little discussion here at the top of the wall, the edge of the world, the hinge of the world, with 3 of the current most powerful people in it. And fight me if you don't think Jon Snow is one of the most current
really
powerful
enjoyable
people.
How many powerful people have had these powerful discussions right here at the top of the wall.
Yeah.
Like, and Jon being part of so many of them.
And it just feels like that, like, being at the top of the wall makes it more so, like, being framed by, like, just this drop-off.
It's almost a crossroads where anything you say or do here has this magical binding. And
it's similar to what we were talking about with Sam, where he had to swear to keep Brannicy. It's that, like, yeah, discussions at the wall hold more weight,
I mean,
man.
Sam's especially going through the fucking magical door.
And the 3 promises to cold hands, like, yeah. And
it was like once on either side of the wall and once under the fucking wall itself. Yeah. It's this crazy pact.
And so, yeah, this scheming, this because it absolutely is scheming. That's why Stannis was just like, keep it secret, like, don't tell anyone. But I also do think that that's a little bit of like the Mance Raider rattle shirt planning too, like, don't tell anybody that I think Mance is like a legit respectful dude.
Well, that we mentioned it last chapter. The King's Landing politicking is really picking up heavily, and I think Martin is using that Sam intro to kind of be like, hey, don't forget that it's not just for the Lord Commander decision. Like, there's going-ons happening all over the place.
The Queen's Men stuff is a big politics thing amongst Stannis's men, and there's a lot of outside politics now affecting the Night's Watch for the first time in a long time, but it is a big deal. And so there's lots of pieces now starting to be moved around, and Stannis is trying to be the one to move them. But Jon Snow is not a pawn. He is absolutely a king or a queen himself. And
he's actually making some powerful decisions and being offered some powerful choices, which we just were seeing Ramsay Snow being legitimized.
I loved that we got mention of Roose, but not Ramsay, knowing the pink letter will be coming later on down the line.
And it's Ramsay Bolton
That it's
now.
Ramsay
because we just saw in with Jaime's chapter that Tommen was signing
just
the orders.
Legitimized him, and we just got proof of that, of a bastard being legitimized by a king.
And so we do know by that it was a legal term from the South, from the other king, that made this all happen. And so I really like that Stannis was saying things like, my Lord of Winterfell. And
that's the fun bit, though, is like, with all these kings, legitimizing different people. Like, whose word do you follow? Like, so Jon will technically be legitimized in Stannis' eyes, but not the South. So, like, is he technically the Lord of Winterfell or no? Because down in the South, they're still going to consider him a Snow.
Right.
Just like
and it's
Stannis,
the blacks and the greens.
According to Stannis, I'm sure that Ramsay is still technically a Snow himself. Like, he's not a fucking trueborn Bolton because Stannis is king. Stannis didn't legitimize Ramsay. Ramsay's still a Snow. But it's that, which side do you follow? Which side do you stand on? It's all bullshit. Words are winds, and zombies are coming to kill us all.
Is that really happening in real life, or is that just...
God, I fucking wish.
That'd be wild. Anyway, so that's our Jon chapter today.
Jon.
Next episode, we'll be reading is Tyrion 11, which will be his final chapter. We got, including the epilogue, like 6 chapters total left.
Do we know what Tyrion that is?
11.
Tyrion 11. Really? Jon 11 and Tyrion 11?
Yeah, I thought that was funny as well, because then it goes into Sam 5, Jon 12, Sansa 7, epilogue.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we'll be doing a big old Storm of Swords wrap-up episode. Potentially a little time between feasts.
Well, yeah,
release.
We'll take a little tiny break, get us caught up on life stuff, and a couple feast episodes, ideally.
Right.
And there's, probably an announcement somewhere in there or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I think you do, and you're lying to the people.
I don't lie.
So I think if you would like to get a hold of us for any reason, send us an email, withoutmannersbrotherhood@gmail.com. You can leave comments on our YouTube and Spotify. Like, subscribe. One more time, subscribe.
Weird.
I know. Now we're content creators.
It's in threes. Do it at the wall, and it's legally binding.
Yeah, I'm scared of going to the wall, though, so that's not going to happen. Anyway, I think that's all I've got. Do you got anything else? Probably not, because you suck.
You're a bitch. That's all I got.
All right. Valo de Harris.
Peace.